What's going on, Cancer? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for the remainder of July 2023. So, in this reading, Cancer, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the rest of the month. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides and so much more regarding the rest of July 2023. So, happy birthday to a lot of the Cancer sun signs out there as well. Now, before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment, Cancer, to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Cancer, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this reading and see what it is that would like to come through for you for the remainder of July 2023, Cancer. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Cancer. See what we got going on here for you, Cancer. Okay. Ooh, Lord. Wow. Okay, very interesting, Cancer. Yeah. So before we get into the tarot, let's start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe, and this is going to be some frequencies or some ideas that the universe really wants you to sit with and contemplate for the remainder of July, because it's going to be very important for you. So the first frequency that the universe wants you to really contemplate for the remainder of July is friendliness. And this is really similar to the Two of Cups in traditional tarot, but in this particular deck, it's really asking you to avoid going into any sort of codependent relationship or anything that we would like to call a dependent relationship, and really look at how you can redefine the relationships with the people that you are closest to. And usually Cancer is very close to people. So this could have to do with your family members. For a lot of you, if you're in a relationship, this definitely has to do with your lover here, or even a close friend. Now, you see how the top of these the branches of these trees are combining in a beautiful way. Like there's a beautiful merging happening here. And the only reason that these two trees can merge so beautifully is because they are both separately rooted into the earth on their own. And this really points to the idea that a successful relationship that is not rooted in codependency, dependency, avoidance, or anything weird really happens when two individuals are rooted in themselves and then they come together. Okay, so there's something about a dependent relationship here, especially with a current boyfriend, girlfriend, or even a partner here, where it's like, this is only going to work if you behave this way. You must do this, right? Dependency, forcing, cajoling, trying to control, manipulate, because that's what you're calling love. And there's something here about like really looking at that. There's also something here coming through about single family homes and looking how humans relate to each other in general. I do believe the single family home, as in like a mother and a father and children living together in a house, actually is horrible for the human system. Like, human beings are tribal. Now, it's not any easier to just be in a free-flow relationship living in some sort of tribe. That brings its own difficulties, but I do feel that's the path that humanity is going down, because it's impossible to meet your needs in a single-family household without you're going to create the dependent relationship. So I don't know, maybe looking at things like open relationships, if that's your thing, or even if that's not what you want, like just redefining a dependent relationship in your life, because I do feel like that's either bringing you or someone close to you a lot of pain. This is also, yeah, okay, let's see what else we got. The other frequency you need to contemplate and sit with is the frequency of totality. And this is really about being totally present to the moment. And if you're not total in what you do, you could actually make a big mistake, because you see how this person is like almost like switching, they're transitioning on this card from, they need to be completely present and total in what they're doing, or else they're gonna mess it up and fall here into the depths. So the universe is really asking you to be very present to the moment and completely total in what you do. And intuitively, there's really something about going with the flow in relationships rather than defining it into the future, which is probably going to be really difficult for you. There's something that Spirit's telling me, that no matter who you are in some sort of way, Cancer, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of pain in your life because you're always looking to the future for happiness, especially as it's related to the way that you define relationships. So you could be literally having an amazing time with your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is. But then you're like, well, where is this going to be in 2 months? I want this life in 2 years, and this person doesn't want it with me. And there's something about that's causing you pain, right? And so just be aware of that. And I want to say this: I'm not here to present you with all these solutions. I'm really here to get you to ask the right questions, because at the same time, I'm saying we need to move away from single-family homes. We need to move into tribe and all that stuff. Well, I'm not saying that that's going to be any easier, but I do think it's the evolutionary next step for humans. So just be aware of that. Now you also have, so being really present to the moment in your relationships is key. So like just enjoying the now with your partner, not worried about, are we going to be married in 5 years? It's complicated in this matrix, but I'm telling you it's what you need to do. Because there's some, yeah. Now when it comes to what the other last frequency you need to sit with is actually past lives. So a lot of you here are dealing with a very intense past life relationship right now. Some of you are going to be in separation from a past life relationship, and the reason you're in separation is because once again, there's dependency, clinging. I'm only going to love you if you treat me this way. You can only love me if I behave this way for you. And that's really like just looking at maybe there's an incompatible relationship here, past lives. Now there is something deep you're working through with someone, and past lives doesn't always have to do with other people, by the way. This could be you tapping into a past life skill, or even more so ancestral trauma. The sun is in Cancer right now, which is really shining a light for everyone on our roots, our ancestry, and the amount of ancestral healing I've been doing is insane lately, so I feel like I would encourage you to do that. But something about past lives, I do feel like you're dealing with a very intense past life relationship, or even a few of them this month, so just be aware of that. Now let's get into the tarot for you, Cancer, here. Your opportunity is an interesting one. It's the 5 of Pentacles for the remainder of July, and with this being your opportunity, we're really going to have to clarify why this is your opportunity. But I do feel that you're too preoccupied with your destiny, and you need to really milk what's right in front of you. No one is promised tomorrow. The illusion is you think you have time. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because you see how these people are like wandering around, like almost like helpless, kind of aimless. These people could be seeking shelter inside of this church, but they're too preoccupied with thoughts of their destiny, thoughts of the future. Someone who is poor is someone who cannot access the present moment, who cannot just be total, who is always thinking that the future will make me happy. And there's something, your opportunity is to look at how are you a beggar in your life when you could be a king, you could be a queen, just by, instead of wanting something you don't have, like what you don't have, you don't need it now. But there's something about you can seek refuge within something right now, you're just not seeing it because you're too focused on there really is something about being too focused on the big picture of your life. And if that's the case, you might just, life is going to pass you by and you're going to feel like I didn't even live it. So we're going to see why that's your opportunity. I feel like it's, you're on the outside of something here. A lot of you also could really be going through a separation with a past life relationship that's really killing you here. And your challenge is the there also could be something looking at money, the way that you relate to money as well. Now, when it comes to your challenge, you have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups in your challenge has to do with unrequited love, or not taking the bait, apathy, someone not really being interested in love. So I feel like this is, there's going to definitely be a reevaluation of what is love. Do I need a marriage to be happy? Do I need, or something about someone rejecting the other person here could be happening here. And for some of you, I get this is happening internally, actually, this whole process. So you may not be in physical separation, but you may be in an energetic, these things have to be looked at, because if you continue in a dependent relationship, I'm only going to love you if you behave this way. Someone around you can just kind of like shut up, or this is you, can just kind of like shut up and go with the rules, but it's not working. So in some sort of way, your challenge, we're going to have to clarify in a moment, is no love. So this really could be, man, I don't know. Let's look at your overall general energy though, Cancer. And a lot of you could redefining your relationship to your long-term goals here. Your overall general energy for the rest of the month is the Ten of Cups upright, the Three of Swords, and also the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here. So there's definitely going to be a reevaluation of your happily ever after. What's going to make you happy in the long run? Because for a lot of you here, there is still the idea of there's too much of a preoccupation with the end goal. I'm only going to be happy if I'm married to this person and it's written in law and we have all these kids and the white picket fence and that's it. Some of you also may be realizing that this is not making you happy. If you already have children, if you already have a family, there could be some difficulty that comes up with that. Maybe it's a subtle feeling, this is not making me happy. There just needs to be some sort of redefinition in this. If you're single and you don't have a family, then this is like what you want, your long-term goals. But you also have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here. So this is something about it's coming through as an improper relationship to the way you relate to independence or dependence. What I'm getting from this reading is you might want to look at the fact that it seems like you're either all in or you're all out with relationships, when the gray area is actually what you need to be in, is what I'm feeling here, Cancer. There's something about like, there really is something about here, like very stubborn fighting. I'm getting you fighting with a loved one for the rest of July. Whether this is someone you're dealing with now or you're just reminiscing on things that happened, there really is like a feeling of, instead of being interdependent, like interdependent, someone is like, when something goes wrong, you're just like, oh, I'm independent now. Because, but it's not coming from the right place. So a lot of you are like, also, there could be a feeling of like, I'm going to be single until my white knight in shining armor comes here and tells me I'm going to get married and gives me everything I want. It's like, this needs to change. This needs to change, like, listen, I'm not even close down to marriage and that whole thing, but the way that my life is going, I'm just like, I need to have like 10 wives in a tribe. Just 10, I don't need one wife, I need 10 wives. And I'm half joking, but I'm half not. I mean, it's just like, I don't know where the world is going. All I'm telling you is, this ain't making us happy. And it's like the frequency coming through is like you're banging, you're banging your partner, and you're thinking of someone else, right? You're literally banging your partner, and in your head you're thinking of a different body, a different person, and you're telling yourself that that's love. No, that's conditioning telling you that this is what you need to do. So like, I'm just giving you this as like a example. It's not going to be exact, but like there really is something about independence gone too far, or dependence gone too far. I'm telling you, there's a gray area that you're going to really be working out in your relationships, and it could be the hardest thing that you actually do in your life. So just be aware of this, Cancer. Wow. So I mean, in some way, this is what's happening. So when it comes to what you don't see coming, a lot of deep change. You have the Eight of Cups, you have the Death card, and you also have the Chariot. Something is definitely coming to an end here. It could have to do with what we're talking about, the way you relate to other people. The Eight of Cups is about moving on from something because it doesn't feel emotionally satisfying to you anymore. You don't really know where you're going, but you're walking into the night. You're leaving something that's pretty solid, but it just doesn't feel right. There's a frequency here of nothing's going to force you out, here. In July 2023, if you choose to leave something, it's going to be on you. No, I don't even sense someone's going to leave you. I think it's almost you're going to, like, almost, not that you're going to, like, leave someone, but it's just thought that relationship needs to be transformed. They also have the Chariot here, so there could be an unexpected trip that many of you are going on. Almost like once something comes to an end, there's a lot of freedom coming in and a lot of movement, a lot of travel. You know, the Chariot's really about freedom of movement. So I really don't want to say this because I don't think it's going to apply to all of you, but there really could be an idea of moving from a dependent relationship to an open relationship. And if it's not an open relationship, then it's like something like we need to honor each other's individuality instead of trying to force each other to conform to each other's like weird compromise, right? Like it leads to bitterness. So there's like a lot of freedom coming in and what you don't see coming, but it's not gonna, I don't know. And then when it comes to your advice, Cancer, I don't even know what this is saying because there's 3 court cards. It usually has to do with 3 people. You have the Page of Wands, you have the King of Swords, and you have the Queen of Pentacles here when it comes to your advice from your spirit guide. So there could be a lot of new past life. If you're single, I do feel like there's a lot of new past life relationships coming in, but the only way that you're going to make it work is through some sort of interdependent relationship rather than a dependent relationship or an independent thing. Interdependence, I'm telling you. These also are qualities that Spirit wants you to focus on. So having fun, being reliable and practical, and also being very stern and setting boundaries here. So these could be energies that you're going to be embodying yourself here. Fire, earth, air. There's no, what's the one suit that's missing here? There's no water here. So with there being no water in your advice, it's like don't let your emotions rule you. Because I really feel like if you're going to get caught in your emotions, you're going to say, you know, things have to be this way, right? Or something like that. I don't know why I keep getting that, but I do. So with that being said, let's really get into the tarot now and make sense of this reading, because you really could be feeling quite upset in July for a lot of you. Whether you're in a marriage, there's just going to be like this feeling. For a lot of you, I don't get external change, by the way. I get this is all, for a lot of you, happening internally. For many of you, this very well is happening externally. A separation going on with a boyfriend or girlfriend or something. But I don't know, Cancer. Let's see why the 4 of Cups is your challenge. Yeah, it's obsession here. Hold on. You know what I'm getting from this is like being like so obsessed with someone, whether this is a marriage or like it's just almost something about like you're obsessed with someone and there's a feeling of being trapped with someone, and that has its own beauty, which is like part of what you enjoy. What I'm getting is like you partially enjoy the obsession, you partly enjoy the dependent relationship, because it could be fun. I mean, when you merge someone, you know, you try to combine your energy with someone in such a way that is like very conditional. It can actually be enjoyable. Some of you would be like, this person's my slave or something. The reason I say that, because the 4 of Cups in your challenge is clarified by the Devil, the Ace of Swords, and also the 8 of Swords here. So that in your challenge, there's a feeling of stuck, you know, you're stuck in toxicity, right? The 8 of Swords is all about being stuck, almost being like locked away, but you're not actually as stuck as you think. The Devil is all about, you know, some of those lower frequencies. For some of you, there also could be this thing of you're addicted to this back and forth struggle, and that's all you know what love is. The Ace of Swords is truth, clarity coming in. So a lot of you are going to be made aware, like, okay, these are my patterns in a relationship. Maybe I really only get off when someone tells me, like, I'm yours, or, you know, I'll change my whole life to be with you, or it's all you and me. But I'm telling you, there's a trade-off for this. And I think what you're realizing is, as much as a dependent relationship can be fun and it can give you like a dopamine rush, when it comes to the long term, it's not going to make you happy in the long term, because any sort of possessive, addictive, clinging, neediness, attachment, forcing, conditional love yeah, you can have great sex with that. You can feel like some sort of, past lives. Maybe this is something to do with ancestral trauma. But what I'm saying is it's like a trade-off, and it's not going to make you happy in the long run. So I just feel like there's something you're doing in the immediate moment with love, whether it's you're too attached or you get stubborn and you completely detach. It's like once again, you're searching for that middle ground. With the devil here in your challenge, they're also, like some of you enjoy this, or someone that you're with like really enjoys this, so it makes it harder, but it's like a toxic enjoyment. It's like the enjoyment of like smoking a cigarette. You're like, yeah, we're dying slowly. But it's like, oh, let's just, I don't know what, and that's just an analogy, right? But I'm telling you something about that. Let's go ahead and move on. Why is let's see why the Five of Pentacles is here in your opportunity. That's an interesting opportunity. I feel like you also, when you're challenged, you know what you need to do to alleviate your stuckness, but you still don't want to do it. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? The Five of Pentacles in your opportunity is is literally clarified by the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Temperance card. So this definitely has to do with love, okay? I thought maybe career, but I don't really think so. In your opportunity, Cancer, the Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Two of Cups. That was the frequency you need to contemplate. The Knight of Cups and the Temperance. This is all to do with love, feelings of romance, how you relate to other people, and really tempering that out and bringing emotional balance. That's what the Temperance card is all about. Watery balance, bringing things back into balance. That's your opportunities to recognize this pattern that you're in. Okay, it's going to be a little different for different Cancers, but you're in some sort of pattern where it's not going to lead to true love for you. Even if you're married, even if you're telling yourself you're happy because your little wife is your little slave, or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, that will bring you temporary happiness, my brother or my sister. But some of you women out there have some sort of beta male that you just control, and you don't get into relationships with real men because you just want to be the dominant one. I'm just saying, like, all these things that are coming to my head. In some sort of way, there needs to be, how are you literally shooting yourself in the foot in relationships? And some of you are very you're like, no. Problem is, a lot of you are like, no, I know what I want. I know what's going to make me happy. And it's like, who told you that? Who? Right? It's like we got to rethink this whole planet, because right now what we're doing on this planet in love is not working. I don't have the solutions, but I do have the questions to ask for you. So that's why I'm just not like afraid of this. I'm like, do I want 10 wives? Some of you were like, fuck you. Some of you were like, this guy's crazy. You're crazy for saying that one is going to satisfy you. At least I'm brave enough to say it. Jesus Christ. Lord, save me. Sound the sirens. What's wrong with you? Something's wrong. I don't know what's here. Is what I'll say. I don't know what's wrong with you, but there's something wrong with you in love. It's off. It's not true love. Why is the Three of Swords here in your I'm telling you, it's like totally dependent, and then when it gets too weird, you're like totally independent. I keep saying that, I'm just telling you that's what it is. The sirens are going off. It's a synchronicity. The Three of Swords is clarified by the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles reverses here. The Knight of Pentacles in the World. So when it comes to the Three of Swords in your overall general energy here, how can you have yourself and have the other person too and upgrade this relationship? If you're single, this is about thinking about what is going to happen in the future with me. If you're with someone, this is happening now. Yeah, I mean, the Three of Swords to the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles in the World here. There really is more... I don't know, there also could be too much of attachment to the physical realm for some of you here. And not in the way you think. The Empress has to do with the physical world, abundance here. Also, I mean, this has to do with pregnancy. For some of you, there could be an idea of having children is really bothering you. The idea of not having children. Some of you want to have children, but it's moving too slowly here, but maybe the universe is saying you're not ready. You also have the world, which is a cycle coming to an end. So, something to do with the... there's just a really big heartbreak, and some of you that are married, this could have to do with your queen or your king, right? The Three of Swords to the Empress. So, once again, this is I do feel like if you're in a marriage, no one's going anywhere. You just need to work through this with someone and just talk about what we're talking about. I'm not saying like do anything different. Just talk about it. Because there is this feeling of like people don't feel connected in the relationship, right? It's like you want this. You want these trees to be intermingled up top. And right now it's like, yeah, the trees are intermingled up top, but they're not, it's not going to last, you know. There's something that's being avoided here. So let's just go to what you don't see coming. What's coming to an end for you? Why is the Death card here? Like these are just... Alright, the Death card and what you don't see coming is clarified by the Hanged Man, the Two of Pentacles, and also the Hermit here. Wow. So with this energy being here, there's definitely an end to you vacillating in something here, or you juggling the idea of something and going within. Like there's an end to this inner struggle, right? What, like this whole reading, I'm telling you, there's some sort of inner struggle. For a lot of you, there's outer struggle in relationships, right? But you have the Hanged Man here and the Hermit are inner processes. And then you have this Two of Pentacles coming out, which is all about juggling, maintaining balance in your life. So that's coming to an end here. So with that coming to an end, there might just be something you're actually jumping right into here. You might talk about something with your partner and just say, hey, this is how we're going to do it now. I'm not really sure. You know, all I can say is I'm trying my best to connect to this reading. I stayed up. I barely even slept last night, and here I am doing readings today. So take it as it resonates. Why is the Chariot here and what you don't see coming as well? I don't know what that's about. I really didn't connect to that clarification. I don't know, but hopefully you will. Why is the Chariot here? You have the Five of Wands. Interesting. I feel like, yeah, like... yeah. The Five of Wands, or excuse me, the Chariot is clarified by the King of Cups, the Five of Wands, and also the Ace of Pentacles here. So yeah, there's definitely... Okay, for a lot of you that are single here... you actually are going to be traveling to a new love here, or you're going to be moving on here. The Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning in the physical world. The King of Cups is positive emotions for a lot of you dealing with someone in love. And the Five of Wands, it's interesting. The Five of Wands, it looks different in this deck, but it's really the totality card. So for some of you, there really could be this thing of like, having... like letting your partner have more freedom here. The Five of Wands has to do with like other people. There could be this thing as well as just moving into more of a... I mean, someone is definitely... If you're single, there could be a new relationship coming in with the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. That's a love offer that's grounded in reality. The Five of Wands here, there could be a lot of other people involved with this. I don't know. I'm not even connecting to this reading, Cancer, so I'm just going to end it before I keep blabbing on. But you get the gist. I mean, I've connected to the main portion of the reading, and it's really up to you what you want to do with that. I just feel like there's, once again, your opportunity. It's the Five of Pentacles clarified by the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Temperance. How are you pushing true love away by clinging to some sort of idea of love that you think will make you happy that really won't? All right, so taking a Zen more approach to life. I sounded like taking more of a Zen approach to your relationships and rethinking the way you define it, because really all I can tell you is that if you're still here in this reading, what you've been doing up until this point ain't doing it for you, so you might as well start doing it a different way. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading. I appreciate you.